it's also interested in joining the BRICS.
They want their own independence.
Represents a new dawn in the global south.
But I think the advantages are more than the disadvantages.
China can trade very easily without an exchange.
All be at the same level.
Welcome to the E-Talk. At this program, we discuss about 5 E's: Earth, Environment, Energy, Economy, and Education. Today, we are going to discuss about the upcoming BRICS Summit. To discuss this further, I've been joined by 3 panelists in the studio. With me is Mr. Shehbaz from Ghana. He's a development specialist. And I have Akriti from India. She's a business expert. And also, we have joined by Ms. Haja from Algeria. She is also an analyst.
The 15th BRICS Leaders Summit for 2023 took place from the 22nd to 24th of August. The summit was held at the Santon Convention Center in Johannesburg. The heads of state from China, Brazil, India, and South Africa participated in the BRICS leaders meeting. The South African Minister of International Relations and Cooperation has reported that leaders from 23 countries around the world, including Saudi Arabia and Iran, have officially expressed their desire to join the BRICS group.
How do you see why different countries are now, they're keen to join BRICS? What kind of outcomes will they have?
BRICS represents a new dawn in the global south in terms of South-South kind of relationship. South-South relationship has been on the books for quite some time. So many aspects have exemplified the need to have trade relations among southern countries and how that is key for socioeconomic transformation in the south. But we are yet to realize this. So I see the emergence of BRICS as one way of getting southern countries to come together, not to unseat a particular dominant system, but to create a new system that will serve and work for them and for their people.
Actually, Algeria is also interested in joining the BRICS. The BRICS idea actually is very interesting to a lot, especially African countries, because it comes from a perspective of getting rid of the European dominance, especially on African countries, where mostly either you use euros or dollars to trade your own, let's say, oils or natural resources. Because the idea of independency, especially when it comes to the economic terms, is an important factor for any country to develop. And the BRICS is offering that. So I think, Algeria have already shown interest in joining the BRICS, along with a lot of other African countries. And we will see on the coming,
how it goes in the future. Do you still believe that the economic integration or the monetary integration of the BRICS can hold all of them countries together and this can become a successful story?
So everything has 2 sides. The benefits of monetary integration will be like, now we see that European countries are using euros for the trading, right? And if all the BRICS countries, they start using they integrate the BRICS dollar, and all 5 countries, they start using the $1 to trade, it will be much easier to trade from one country to another country. Like, for an example, India and China can trade very easily without an exchange rates fluctuations or any high risk. So they can easily trade if they have $1 that is BRICS dollar. But seeing to the negative side, the example of China and South Africa. China is too developed now, and South Africa is still developing. So what happens here? Like if they both come on same platform, both countries will have different things to compromise and different problems to face.
But I think the advantages are more than the disadvantages, because, as you know, some countries, some European countries, such as France, has also shown interest in like joining the BRICS, France is also a developed country. So if France wants to join, that means there are gains more than losses, even
That's
if
right.
they have one currency, like a new currency or the BRICS dollar, as she mentioned.
I want to differ a bit from what my colleague said. I strongly think that in cooperation, you can't all be at the same level. If you look at the European Union and the introduction of the euro, you have the chance there. You have Germany and France leading the process. The German's economy alone is a force to reckon with. So it's doable. We can do it. And I just want to associate myself with BRICS because it represents my interest. I think that a common monetary policy for BRICS is doable, and as I can see that coming.
We have seen now there is a rising trend that a lot of countries are now stepping up. They're advocating to get rid, from the dependence of the US dollar. Why do you think this is happening? And what does this de-dollarization in general terms, in generic way, means for the world?
This is a very good question. I think that more and more people, like my colleague said earlier, are losing faith in the dollar, because the dollar has become an instrument for the US to advance its political and geopolitical and economic ambitions. So I think that more and more people are losing faith in the dollar. The dollar is no longer reliable and dependable. So
and also not sustainable.
And not sustainable. Yes. So there's a search for a new kind of system that can serve the needs of particularly developing countries.
So these days what is happening is, of course, all the countries or different countries, they don't want to be dependent on the Western unions. And they want their own independency, first of all. And the best way that they can do it right now is by the de-dollarization. By not using, like, if we take an example of Russia, these days, Russia, like, after getting imposed by so much of US sanctions on them, Russia, what they did is, like, they start trading in euros and yuan more and more. And this shows that people are losing trust over the US dollars and they want to move to some other currencies and do the business.
Let me just toss up a last question briefly, just one-liner, everybody. How do you see the outcome of the BRICS summit?
I think that it is going to come out with a remarkable kind of conclusion on the monetary aspect, the monetary integration.
Seeing the scenarios of the US dollars and US debt, I can say that in coming times, maybe we will hear some very different news from them about this BRICS summit as a whole.
I also think it will have a lot of positive impact, and more the things that I'm more interested in, that a lot of countries have already applied to join the BRICS. So I just want to see the final vote and whether all those countries will be allowed to join, or it will be like chosen according to some criteria. So for me, that's what I'm waiting for the result from the coming.
The world has seen the international relations which is based on a global hegemon, which is unjust and unequitable. I think this is the time when the world has realized that they need an international relations which is based on inclusiveness, which is based on solidarity, which is based on the mutual cooperation, and which is based on helping each other. I'm signing off from the eTalk now. Until next time, goodbye.